Welcome, friends. And thank you for joining us this evening as we honor the memory of Amalia Kostanian, one of Armenia's veteran human rights activists and its leading citizen in the fight against corruption. I'd like to especially recognize and welcome Amalia's family and her brother, Hovik Kostanian, as well as her friends and in many ways her extended family from the Transparency International Anti-Corruption Center. I'd also like to welcome Hovik Kostanian, who is, of course, the military prosecutor and a special friend of Amalia's, with whom she worked closely in his many government positions. A part of our International Women's Day celebrations, the Women of Courage Award salutes women who have taken courageous stands for the good of their society. Tonight, we honor Amalia Kostanian, who fought corruption and promoted transparent government. And we celebrate not just Amalia's work, but her life. And I think the size of the crowd here tonight testifies to what an extraordinary person she was. Where does one start to describe somebody like Amalia? She set aside a doctorate in biochemistry and a career in science for a life full of unknowns to help build a better Armenia. Amalia recognized that corruption, both small and large, undermines stability, democracy, and prosperity, and erodes the moral fabric of society. Under her leadership, Transparency International mastered the issue through research, assessment studies, and public opinion surveys. And armed with this information, Amalia proposed policies and spurred legislation to reduce opportunities for corruption. And while Amalia often criticized the government, she also partnered with the government. And many of her recommendations found their way into election laws, into government procurement rules, and Armenia's anti-corruption strategy. But Amalia recognized that this was only half the fight. Her life's purpose was to inspire in each one of us the responsibility to tackle corruption and the hope that we could make a difference. Amalia understood that it takes a lot more than reports to motivate people. She used her humor and her sense of fun to make her points through the arts. Amalia loved to dance, and one of her best projects was a film that featured members of different professions dancing the khochari, arms linked to symbolize the interconnectedness of corruption in life. Amalia was passionate about her calling. Many of us have felt her white-hot focus, her directness, her directive that we can do better, that we can do more. She was right, and the best way to remember Amalia is to do better and to do more in the fight against corruption. One of my favorite stories about Amalia was a story that she told me about herself. That morning, she'd been late to work, and so she took a taxi, only to be stopped by a traffic cop looking for a little extra. He thought he was pulling over a taxi, only to find out that he had pulled over Amalia Kostanian. So I can only imagine this scene, and I can only also imagine that both men are still living by Amalia's rule that we can do better. But Amalia, light and bright and always appreciative, believed that in struggling against corruption, we must not only punish the guilty, but also uphold the worthy. Not only call upon others to live properly, but also model proper behavior. And Amalia did that. She's not with us in person tonight, but she continues to inspire us. She certainly continues to inspire me as a citizen and as a patriot. Amalia leaves behind a strong organization that continues to fight for political and social reform in Armenia. And she leaves behind the many people she has touched through her trainings, her public speaking, and the power of her passionate example. She lives on in the many who continue her call for a more just and democratic society. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing Amalia Kostanian as Armenia's 2011 Woman of Courage. Her brother Hovik will accept the award after